Hello and welcome. You asked Chao, we deliver. The question was, how can I make bottled bubble tea using tapioca pearls? In previous videos, I did say that it will be quite hard for you to use tapioca pearls in bottled bubble tea because what happens is that if you soak your tapioca pearls longer than say about 3 to 4 hours and you refrigerate it, the tendency is for the tapioca pearls to get soggy and it will no longer be sticky and chewy. We are going to make bottled bubble tea today using tapioca pearls. And how are we going to do that? Well, if you are serving this from home, all you have to do is to make it as it is ordered. That means to say made to order. So you don't prepare your bubble tea in advance, you make it when there's an order. This will also save your refrigerator space. You don't need to refrigerate your drinks. All you need is to keep your tapioca pearls warm. Because if the tapioca pearl is warm, it will last longer. It will make it more sticky and chewy for a longer period of time. In another video, I will be showing you my recommended way of keeping your tapioca pearls chewy and sticky and soft for a longer period of time. But for now, all I'm going to show you is how to make your bottled bubble tea to order, and also what are the equipment that you will be using. So for this, I am going to use the classic recipe for making bubble tea, which is your tea. Of course, you need the tea. And for this, I'm using my own blend of black tea. We are going to use sugar. This time, I am not using sugar syrup. I am assuming you haven't made your sugar syrup, so this will be the simplest way to do it. Get granulated sugar. And I prefer to use brown sugar because this just enhances the color of my drink. And for the milk, I am going to use non-dairy creamer, which is the classic recipe. I am going to use shaker this time because, as I've said, we are not going to chill the drinks in advance. We are going to make the drink cold by shaking it with ice. And of course, we are going to use tapioca pearls. So I'm going to show you how to bottle milk tea using tapioca pearls. The only downside to this procedure is that you must use warm tea. So if you're doing it from home, that should not be a problem. You just keep your tea in a thermos that will keep it warm for longer period of time. So I am going to make 2 bottled bubble tea using 300 ml bottles, and I'm going to show you the recipe on how we can make it to order. So very similar to making it in a 12 ounces cup. Now let's look at the procedure and how to make your bottled bubble tea using tapioca pearls, made to order. So for this, we are going to use a shaker because we are assuming again there is no refrigerator, so you don't need to chill your drinks. I'm going to use a 300 ml bottle. I think the ideal size would be about 500 ml, which is equivalent to about 16 ounces cup. So for 300 ml, I am going to use a funnel to put my tapioca pearls in there. So I'm going to be generous. I'm going to put 2 scoops of my tapioca pearls. So that's it. That's 2 scoops of tapioca pearls into the bottle. I'm going to do the same for the other one because I'm going to make 2 bottles. Let's just make it here. Once again, I'm going to put 2 scoops. That's quite generous. And the people love tapioca pearls, so there you go. Just 2 scoops of tapioca pearls. So there you go, 2 scoops of tapioca pearls into the bottle. You may reduce the proportion or the amount of tapioca pearls that you put in there, depending on how much you plan to sell it. So there you go. Now, I've got this in my bottle. What you can do in advance is to put all the tapioca pearls in your bottles before you put your drink in. And when you get an order, all you have to do is to pour the drink over. Once you have decided what tea you are going to use for your milk tea, then start making your tea. You can either make it in batch or you can brew it per cup. In this case, I'm going to make 1 batch, which will be 1 liter. So for this, I will need 1 liter of water, and I'm going to use the traditional method of boiling. So using pot and stove. For the brewing proportion that I recommend, I use about 150 grams of my tea leaves into 5 liters of water. But because I'm only going to brew 1 liter of water, I'm only going to use 30 grams of my tea leaves. So now my water is close to boiling. I'm going to just lower the heat and pour my tea in. At this point, I am just going to give it a stir, just so that it will steep all the juice out of the tea leaves. Give it a stir, and then I am going to turn off the heat. For the brewing time, I am going to let it brew for 10 minutes. You may brew it 10 to 15 minutes, that's absolutely fine. But the objective is not to make the tea bitter, that you have to add a lot of sugar to balance the bitterness of the tea. So for me, 10 minutes is good enough. So now, let's say I get an order for 2 bubble tea, bottled bubble tea. Okay, let's do that. The recipe that I'm going to use is 120 ml of my warm tea. It has to be warm tea. This is similar to the recipe for a 12 ounces cup. So that means 120 ml of my warm tea, and I'm going to use 1.5 tablespoons of my brown sugar. I'm also going to use 2 tablespoons of my creamer. And give it a stir. Notice that I use a measuring cup to prepare my drinks before I put it in my shaker. For some, it will be easy enough to put it straight into the shaker, but I prefer to make my measurement more precise, so I'm using a measuring cup. Okay, so I'm going to put my drink into the shaker. And then give it a shake. So what you're doing with this process is that you are making your drink cold before you bottle it. This way, you do not need to chill your drinks. So when there's an order, you just bottle it and serve it, or send it off if it is going to be by delivery. Okay, so I'm going to put it there. Maybe I'll use a funnel as well. I'm going to pour it into my bottle. And this recipe should be perfect to fill up your 300 ml bottle. There you go. Now you can put the lid on. Wait for that to click. Okay, and that is locked. So there is your bottled bubble tea. Beautiful color, and it really looks like a rich creamy milk bubble tea. Okay, I'm just going to make another one, and this time I'm going to use a different process. I'm going to put everything into the shaker. Once again, my sugar, I'm going to use 1.5 tablespoons of my brown sugar into the shaker, and then 2 tablespoons of my creamer there into the shaker as well. And then I'm going to put my tea, which is 120 ml. So I'm going to, the same recipe, this is the recipe that you use for a 12 ounces cup. Okay, 120 ml of tea, brewed tea into the shaker, give it a stir. If your tea is warm, it should be enough to dissolve the sugar and the creamer. And then add the ice. And once again, we are going to shake. We are trying to dissolve most of the ice. Click, and that is locked. So there you have it, bottled bubble tea made to order and using tapioca pearls. So as long as you serve it immediately or they are delivered to the buyer or the customer as soon as possible, it should be perfect for ready-to-drink consumption. If you have any questions at all, do let me know, comment below. And once again, like and subscribe. Stay safe, stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Ciao for now.